We have a lot of 2K25 news to get into, so of course, I'm not going to waste y'all's time, man. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and let's get right into the news. Now, look, just like the last video, I tried to put what I thought was the most important stuff towards the beginning, and then we make our way in. So let me know if you guys like that better, but this is huge right here. Wolf, who was a former 2K League professional, now turned developer, expanded upon the court size being bigger, and he said the new player to court ratio in 2K25 allows for some more diverse gameplay. Offensively, you have more room for off-ball movement and cuts. Defensively, it is a bit harder to play too. So he is confirming, as a league player, he would know, especially in the 5v5 area, that there is not going to be as much playing two defenders and just being able to easily get back, which is going to be very interesting to see how that plays out in the 2K game, because for many years, people have been saying that they need to make the courts bigger so that zone defense and things like that aren't as overpowered and blah, blah, blah. So here's some pictures that Black Cobra posted, and you can see right here that it does seem like, obviously it is zoomed out, but it does seem like the court size is bigger, especially if you look over there on the elbow. Aaron Gordon, and I can't see who that is in the corner, number 0, but it seems like there's a good amount of space between those two players. I really hope that when the game comes out, it is actually how it seems. But this is another picture from Black Cobra that he posted from the gameplay right here that came out, and it seems like Jason Tatum is pretty dang far away from Derek White over there. Like, it seems like it is. Of course, I don't want to say for sure it is, but it looks like he has a lot of space, which definitely interests me. I think that's how the game should be. You shouldn't be able to play two defenders easily, but we don't know. We've never really seen it play out in a 2K game. Obviously, in real life, that's great, but we'll see how it actually plays out in 2K25 if that's true. Now, Mike Wang posted some pretty interesting information because someone was asking him, hey, I'm tired of anticipating the Jamal Murray behind the back and not getting a bump, the ball hitting my leg or something, and Mike Wang responded with, in 2K25, if you can anticipate those moves and bump the dribbler, he'll fumble the ball. The higher the delta between the defender and ball handler, the easier it will be to force the fumbles. So it seems like, of course, defense is going to be good. This is an every year thing, right? But this year in 2K24, in my opinion, the defense is pretty bad. And what 2K does to make up for the lack of just defense making sense, if that makes sense, is they just make on-ball steals really, really good. So that's obviously the best thing about defense is on-ball steals. And I'm not sure if it should be that way, because, you know, in a actual real life setting, a 12-minute quarter game, there's what? 1-2 on-ball steals a game, and you can get like 10-15. I'm just saying that they should make defense actually better and not just make steals super good to make up for that, if that makes sense. So anyway, let's hop into the next one. So this one was really scary, and honestly, this is probably the one that is scaring me the most out of any news we have today. We'll talk about it in a second. Mike Wang, what changes have been made to post defense? He said post fades and hooks now use a different set of contest logic than normal shots. The new logic better simulates how shooting out of the post is in real life and puts more of the make versus miss on the shooter's ability to time an inherently more difficult shot. Defenders will still want to get a hand up or jump to contest to make it tougher for the shooter though. So, of course, just like any shot in 2K, like if you're wide open, your green window is going to be the biggest it can possibly be. In 2K24, let's say you're 10% contested, and this is just an example, it's not going to be as big as if you were wide open, meaning let's say it was 50 milliseconds. If you're wide open, you got to time it in that window to green it. If it's 10% contested, it's probably like 25. But this year, it seems like they're just going to let you be able to green anything so that it can be quote unquote realistic. Because I mean, if you watch a basketball game in real life, especially like a post fade, like they're always at least usually decently contested, because you know you got someone posted up, you know they're probably going to shoot a post fade if you're in the post, right? Or you know they might do a post spin and then get in there and do a layup, but usually you can kind of tell when someone's about to do a post fade. But in real life, a lot of contested shots go in, and that's what they tried to do with 2K24. But then the cheaters, you know, they've made that really rough on how the gameplay looks. The guys that are using Titans and Zens or whatever it is. So with the post fades being even more like, hey, as long as you can time it, it's going in. that does kind of scare me with everything going on, you know, but we'll see, of course, when the game comes out. So Wolf wanted to talk about the rhythm shooting. He said, one of my favorite ways to use the new rhythm shooting mechanic is with slow fades and hop jumpers. Down, up on the right stick without holding turbo allows you to shoot slow fades. Down, up on the right stick with turbo triggers your hop jumper animation. It's nice to mix those up, especially in the mid-range. And then he clarified that slow fades are dribble pull-up shots without using turbo. Now, look, I gotta yap for a second, but one thing I want to say is I seen in the last video, we started this whole like yap thing as a joke because, you know, you guys want to hear me talk about what information we're looking at. And it's funny because I've been seeing people that are like newer, like, oh, dude, he's just yapping. Like, bro, like they actually mean it. Like, dude, I literally have like 15 to 20 pictures here to talk about worth of information. I don't know what these people expect. Do you guys want me to just give you some information and then not say anything about it and then move on to the next one? Like, I don't know what the point of that would be. I feel like it's much better to at least give you my opinion on it or explain it to people that don't really understand on some things. You know what I'm saying? Like, further break it down. But anyway, Precise, who is a Pro-Am player, he's a 2K YouTuber, he's in the comp Pro-Am scene, was speaking to Wolf, who was also in the comp Pro-Am scene, you know, 2K League former player. He said, Wolf, brother, you played 2K for years. Do you really think everyone is going to switch to shooting with the stick? So this is important. This is a, you know, competitive player talking to another one. And he said, yes, not everyone will switch, obviously, but if you want to separate yourself and are competitive, you should incorporate rhythm shooting into your game. So that's pretty big right there. You know, Mike Wing himself has doubled and tripled down on the fact that, like he said, the employees over at VC were having a huge jump when they stuck with the shooting. Like, they were getting much better at shooting if they stuck with it. The guys that didn't stick with it and just went back to regular shooting weren't getting the same results at all. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but I am interested to see it. Now, Mike Wing said you can use the rhythm shooting on any jump shot. In Learn 2K, we explain it as a down, and then up motion. But whatever direction you hold, right stick to start your shot, just move it again in the opposite direction to make it a rhythm shot. Left to right, up to down, etc. Now this guy said, so how would that work when doing a step back / hop jumper? Do we hold right stick plus right trigger and wait for the animation to play out before pushing up on the right stick? Or do we pull the right stick down twice? Once for the step back and one to start the rhythm shot. He said you would hold right stick plus right trigger turbo, wait for the step back to finish and for your player to start his lift, then push right stick in the opposite direction when he starts his shooting motion, finishing the second throw when the ball leaves his hand. So a lot of this sounds a bit complicated, but honestly, now that I've read it so many times, and I'm sure for a lot of people it is still how it was for me at first, it doesn't seem as crazy as it all sounds. Like, it's just so much to learn. They're making the shooting so difficult. It's just something that people are going to have to get used to, and we also have to see if it's actually as good. Like, imagine you do all this for a 2% better shooting percentage. Like, it's just not going to be worth it to me, you know, to learn something like that and have to put that into your head. But anyway, we have right here our signature go-to shots limited to only step backs. What types of shots should we be expecting to see? He said there's quite a bit of variety in the signature go-to shots. Some attack the basket more than others. Some escape more side to side. Some end in step back jumpers, while others end in pull-ups or hezzy pull-ups. Darius Garland is one of my favorites. And remember, there's different content based on which hand you're dribbling with, or if you're coming from triple threat. So make sure to pay attention to that. Signature go-to shots also have the benefit of a larger green window and slightly higher make percentages. That's a big one right there. Larger green window and slightly higher make percentages. There's also a useful tool for dribblers to have in their bag, as you can create a lot of interesting combos with shot canceling. So that's honestly huge news. We know that you still get a bonus for having your meter off. Now you're going to get a bonus for the go-to shots, you know, stuff like that. So it might actually be a huge part of a lot of people's game. Now, Dazar, who is the leader of Sim Nation, he's a very long time dev. I don't even know, probably like 15 years at 2K. He also quoted this. He said, some of these are so cold, man, and the fact you can branch at different points means the creative folks can build an entire set of offensive moves out of a player's go-to shot. hey, you might want to go in there like day one of 2K25 and actually hop in that learn thing, the learn 2K, and figure this all out. Now we have, what is the difference between the new shot canceling feature and canceling step back shots in previous games? Because a lot of people were like, dude, this is the exact same thing. Now, this is what Mike said. The main difference between this year's shot canceling and past versions is that you can break out at any point during the jump shot as long as it's before the player gathers with two hands, obviously. In the past, you were locked into the shot until a specific point. Also, the new dribble engine handles the transitions dynamically, which looks and feels much smoother than the pre-scripted bridge animations we used in previous 2Ks. So, again, a lot to just kind of want to make sure you go into the game, and we got to see, like, does this actually give you a big advantage? Is this something that, you know, someone that's not drooling on themselves is going to have a difficult problem guarding? Like, obviously, you know, a lot of these things can work on people that aren't very good, but are these going to be things that work on people that are actually looking at the screen, two hands on the controller? You know, we'll have to see. Okay, so how will hot zones affect shooting this year? Hot zones will still give you a small boost to your shot ratings. Now, Mike also further expanded upon hot zones and lethals and stuff, and it will be different this year as well. So the question was, will lethal zones be in 2K25? And he said yes. The design is a little more fun too. Instead of automatically working on two zones and it lasting 1 week, there's 3 versions / options to choose from. 1 week equals 1 zone, 2 weeks equals 2 zones, 3 weeks equals 3 zones. For the 3 weeks version, you face off against lethal. So you're going to be playing against lethal shooter. I'm not sure exactly what that does. Like, I feel like everyone's just going to want to do the 3 zones is 3 weeks, right? Like, you would obviously want that, but hey, we'll see how hard it is to get the lethals. Maybe they made it way harder. I don't know. I feel like you should just, like, bro, you're paying $100 for a player. You start at 85 overall with no badges. You still have to grind up the progression. You still have to buy skill boosts, like jump shot boosts. You still got to do your Gatorade stuff. It's like, bro, all that, $170, and you still don't have everything. You need clothing. It's kind of crazy. But All City found a clip that I want to shout out him. He's a good news YouTuber over here if you guys haven't checked him out. But this is 2K24 and 2K25 gameplay put side by side. So you've seen the 2K25, 2K24, and now they're going to be side by side. Now there is a decent amount of these, of some pauses here, but this is like the same animation, like the same exact move compared from one game to the other. So you see 2K25, the crossover starts a little bit closer to the body. 2K24 is definitely further out, probably easier to rip in 2K24 in that spot. You see the tween is literally like the exact same, except on 24 it's a bit higher. Then as we go up right here, it does seem like we're going into the same animation, and then the behind the back actually gets to the other hand quicker than it does on 24. It's a little bit smoother. I'm not hyping up the game. I'm just saying what I'm seeing right here, okay? But you'll see as we get further into this exact animation, started at the exact same time, it's going to finish out in the same spot. But who knows if you can run out of certain animations in 2K25 that you couldn't in 2K24. You know, there's a whole lot more to just looking at it, because you don't know as a dribbler. If you guys look into any of these moves and you lab them, like, yeah, it could be the exact same finishing points, but there's things that you can run out of. You could go over to the opposite side and do, like, if the ball's in the right hand, you could run out midway through to the left, and some of them you can't, but they finish at the same time. Okay, so that's important to know, that they do finish at the same time. But once again, we don't know exactly how the animations play out. I just wanted to show you guys, so let me know your opinions on that. But we have right here, will you need post control attributes to score post fades? You don't need post control for post fades. Post control is more for post moves. Post fade success is driven by your shot ratings, close / mid, and badges. So this is around the spot where I was trying to put everything important in the beginning. Now we're kind of getting into more niche things that you might not care about, or you might not want to know or care about knowing. But here we go. Okay, so this one is, what shot timing profile is closest to how shooting works in 2K24? He said the shooting model for 2K25 is pretty different than last year, so it's really hard to compare. If I had to pick, I'd probably say 2K24 is somewhere between this year's normal and high profiles. So you guys remember, There's low risk reward, there's normal, there's high, all those things. So you're probably going to want to play on high. Unless you're just a corner shooter and you're using the rhythm stuff, you're probably going to be automatic over there anyway, using all that with all the boost and shot meter off and blah, blah, blah. But we'll see when the game comes out, man. I don't know. I got to keep saying that, of course. Now, if you like playing 2K in 2K, or if you like playing in 2K Cam, but hate the change of possession flip, like when there's a turnover or something, I added a new camera you might like called 2K Wire. It takes some getting used to on the defensive end of the floor, but it's my new go-to cam in PvP modes. Give it a try. This guy said, is it sort of like my player, my career default? He said, yeah, but less side-to-side swivel movement. It's similar to playing on 2K Cam with the flip option disabled. So that is pretty nice. I do get tired of that from time to time, of the camera switching back and forward, and you are able to change that on 2K24 on some of the cameras. But hey, I'm not hyping it up. It's just something decent that was added into the game, most likely. Okay, so this next one right here we have is, have there been any improvements to the physics when two people clash in the air? The physics team spent a lot of time improving our player-to-player in-air collisions to make them more reliable and to maintain players' momentum/velocity better. Now, what I care about in that is for years now, there's been like, you go up for a dunk and you literally get like tackled or punched. And that's 2K's animation or way of saying like, hey, the defender got there before you could go up for the dunk, you know, or like alley-oops where it's an obvious foul on the defender, almost like a pass interference in football where you just jump straight in front and you kind of, it's almost like in real life it'd be trying to hurt the other player, but yet that's good defense. Like, I don't know, they just got to make the animations and things make more sense to where people can understand it better, but people that play the game, like I was just saying, you know, you understand it. That's 2K's way of saying, hey, the defender got there in time, unfortunately, right? So the last one right here is, can you go a little deeper on the bounce alley-oops? What does contextually mean? He said some players were getting bounce alleys by accident. So in 2K25, bounce alleys happen organically when you double tap Y/triangle and the lane is clearly wide open and the players involved are appropriate. Another reason we made bounce alleys contextual was to free up the circle A+B button combo for self alley-oops, which some people were getting by accident when they were trying to pass to a teammate. So that's actually good. Because that does happen from time to time, so it's cool that it's separated. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it, man. If you want to drop a like, give your opinions, click this video right here if you want to see some more 2K25 news, because the last one also had a lot of news. I don't want to yap forever, okay? But we are going to have very important stuff coming up soon, like the builder, my career, stuff like that. So I'll see you guys soon. I'm out of here. Click this, tap it, whatever you got to do, and I'm out. I'm leaving. You might as well.